Hello everybody, welcome to my first review of the latest book I haven't finished, which is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. So this was a book that I actually had bought probably a year or so before I actually picked it up to read. I believe it was the Chris Williamson podcast. At some point he mentioned that he had a book recommendations list for free. I checked it out, bought a whole bunch of the books all at once. Would have bought more if I could, but I thought I was like keeping it simple and therefore did not read all of the books, as you can imagine. So yeah, like I said, I got suckered in. I bought a whole bunch all at once, but who can read a bunch of books all at once? Normally I'd say no one, but since this is my hobby now, or forever, I'm giving it a try. So anyway, but at the time I totally could not do it. So it sat in a basket underneath my coffee table for a long time until one day I was listening to the Andrew Huberman show podcast that, unbeknownst to me, had Stephen Pressfield as the guest, and it had sat on my like watch later playlist for a minute. It was titled something about inner resistance, and one day I woke up and like that was like the thing chiming, and so I turned on the podcast that I've seen a couple times, and it's not very recent, and I'm listening, and maybe 10 minutes in or so, I keep hearing The War of Art, and I'm like, isn't that book I bought? And eventually, so I knew inner resistance was something that I think I knew I needed to address once I saw the label, but all I knew is that I was having trouble sticking to like certain habits and routines that I knew would be really good for me and like for my own practices, or would be a good practice for me, but I couldn't get myself to do it. But it was like, but why? Why can't I get myself to do it? I knew there was something blocking me. And so I listened to this podcast, they're talking about it, maybe 15 minutes in, I'm like, that has to be the book. I look, it's him. That's who the interview is with. And so it was really insightful. So that's where I say, like, I feel like this book got handed to me because I bought it at one point and then I had it when I needed it or wanted it, and like I could really target the things that this book is good for like when I needed to. So the day I ended up picking it up, I probably read about 30 pages like in one go. I'm 70 pages or so in at this point. It's probably like, I feel like it could be a really easy read, not easy, quick read, because it's like short chapters, like sometimes it's like you could do one chapter a day, one page a day, like kind of vibe. And I feel like when I first picked it up, like every single morsel I was gaining, like was exactly targeting things that I was struggling with. And so pretty quickly, the reason I could set this book down after 70 pages is because I really got a lot of value, like from every single line, every single page. Like I don't feel like Stephen here, Mr. Pressfield, added extra words. Like it's a smaller book. He kept it precise and like just what you need to know, just what's beneficial, I think, to the masses. And so yes, it's called The War of Art, but the subtitle is Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles. So on the back it kind of talks about, like, it gives a couple examples, like, do you dream about writing the great American novel? Do you regret not finishing things you want to start? Do you want to start a business or a charity? Do you wish you could start exercising or dieting today? Do you hope to run a marathon someday? So like, it doesn't have to be just about creating art, but that also has huge creative blocks and inner blocks to it. So yeah, it has been like several months since I've set this down, but I already know that like this is one of the books that I'll come back to like time and time again. I'm not going to shame myself for how quickly I do or don't read it, because with books like these in the past that I devour one moment and then like ignore for sometimes even up to a year after, like yes, I was obsessed with it, but like I didn't like actually finish it right away. I used to shame myself for that, for a lot of things, but that was one of them. And then I would see that I would pick up the book and start reading the next section that I didn't realize was next when I set it down, And I ended up picking it up at the exact perfect time that like that section would be beneficial or helpful or useful to me. And that's where it's like, why was I shaming myself for this? Like, clearly my timing is the right timing. Like, I picked it up and I kept going, and you know, it's better than forcing yourself to read or finish something that doesn't feel right at the time. So that's where it's like, I haven't finished it yet. I know I'll read it multiple times throughout my life. I remember in that Andrew Huberman podcast, something that stood out to me was like, he had said that this is something he's read multiple times, and that always stands out to me. Like, when I hear somebody who ingests a lot of information all the time, who says like, this item is something they go back to, like, why would I not incorporate that tool or that information into my life? If, you know, take what I want, leave the rest. But overall, I definitely would recommend The War of Art if there's something that you want to do or start or think about, but there's something blocking it. And like, even it could be like the simplest, smallest things. I needed this when I was trying to implement my morning routine again, like not even for the first time. And it was like, why can't I get myself to stretch? I like doing it. It feels good. I definitely feel good after, and like hearing him talk about it and like then jumping in, like it really simplified it for me. And I think I could do the same for you. So that's my review after the first 70 pages or so of The War of Art. If I keep reading, I'll keep you posted. Ta-ta for now.